Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to be doing the Meowing About Books book tag. So, as many of you know, I created the Barking Bout Books tag, which was my original tag, and so the BookTube goddess took it upon themselves to create the cat version of it, which is now called the Meowing Bout Books tag. So I'm going to do this tag because that's awesome. I already took a look at the prompts and they're actually quite funny, so I'm excited to go through them with you guys and tell you which books I coordinate with each prompt. So the first one is Catnip, and this is an addictive book or series that you devour in one sitting. So I had a hard time coming up with this one because a lot of books, like, I don't finish them in one sitting because I'm not that fast of a reader. So I decided to choose Saga because this is the one thing that I can finish in one sitting. I mean, I guess Heartstopper also counts because I could finish that really easily, but that's also like there's minimal text in it. It's very easy to get through. But every time I pick up an edition of Saga, as you can see, I'm on volume 7. I just fly through it and read it all at once. And yeah, I just need to dedicate maybe about 20 minutes to a half an hour to read the entire like graphic novel volume, but it's just so much fun and I love this series, and it's just so exciting to go through all of it in like one chunk and then move on to the next one. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to continuing this series. I already used volume 6 for one of my prompts in Reindeer Readathon, and so now I'm on volume 7. Not sure when I'll pick it up, but I'm sure I'll find a time when I just want to pick up a book to have a break from heavier reading and just dive right into this. Next up is Litterbox, and this is a book so stinky that you want to bury it in the sand. And I think that's a hilarious prompt. For this one, I chose Harry Potter and the Cursed Child because I bought this book based on enjoying the other books, and then this book was just like a huge trash fire. I did not really enjoy it at all. As you can see, I got it for 40% off because I was definitely not paying full price for this. But yeah, like this book, I don't know why they thought this was a good idea. They should have just left it. And they went and did this. So yeah, we can bury this in the sand. Then we have Scratching Post. And this is a nonfiction book that you keep going back to sharpen your mind or your claws. So I don't read a lot of nonfiction, and I feel like I kind of chose a cop-out for this one, but I chose the giant word search book that I have because I use this to sharpen my mind by doing word searches. I mean, I haven't used it in a while, but it has over 700 puzzles, and I've only gotten to like 42. So I definitely need to keep using this to sharpen my mind. But yeah, this is, I would classify it as nonfiction because it's all like real topics that you're trying to search for in the word searches. But yeah, this is my cop-out answer for this one. Then we have Mouse, and this is a short story or book that you play with a little bit before you devour it. So for this one, I chose A Tale of Six, and this is a short story like novella that I read back in October that has like a collection of 6 short stories within the short story, and they're all kind of like horror stories. And I really enjoyed this book, and I also interviewed the author, so that was really cool. But yeah, like this was one of the ones where it was fun to like play around with because you have stories within stories, and then there's an overarching story that's like bringing them all together. I just thought it was a really fun time, and it fit this prompt very well. Then we have Hairball, and this is a book that you enjoyed on the first read, but after the passage of time, it makes you want to throw up. So for this one, I chose Landline by Rainbow Rowell. I gave this like an initial, I think 3.5 star out of 5 because it was all right. But after like sitting on it and thinking about it, I really didn't enjoy this book at all. And I don't think it deserved a 3.5. It was so boring. Like the premise sounded really cool. And then I read it and I was like, no, like this is a waste of time for me. I don't know why I read this book. I think it's because I picked it up at the store for like $6 and I was like, oh, maybe it'll be good. And every time I do pick up a book that's super cheap like that, it has been like known to disappoint me. So yeah, but yeah, this book, it just wasn't it. Next up is Attitude, and this is a book or character that has the attitude of a cat. So for this one, I chose Arthur from What If It's Us because he's very like energetic at times and very like excited, and then all of a sudden he flips and he's super sassy and like doesn't want anything to do with you. And I feel like that's kind of how cats are sometimes. They'll be playing with their toys and then all of a sudden they're just like, no, don't touch me. Like, this is my domain kind of thing. So I felt like that character fit very well with the attitude of a cat. And yeah, I mean, our cat's not really like that. Our cat's super cuddly. He like gets really energetic and runs around and plays with his toys and then relaxes and sleeps for like hours on top of us. He does not leave us alone. And then goes at it again and starts like playing with his toys and then relaxes for a couple hours. I don't know. He's a weird cat. But yeah, Arthur fit that prompt. Then we have Purrfect. And this is a book or series that is perfect and you can't find any flaws with it. So I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking I'm going to say Red Rising, but I'm actually choosing The Martian because this is a book that like I enjoyed fully all the way through. I had no like bad things to say about it. Every time I think about this book, like I want to dive back into it. I tell people about it. I just enjoyed this book so much and I had no expectations going into it. So it was awesome. And it was just so much fun. I don't think like even thinking about it that I can find anything wrong with it. So that's why I chose this one. Next up is Hiss. And this is your favorite scary or horror book. And I don't really read that much horror books. Like I want to read more horror books because I think they're so much fun and I like them. I just haven't found very many good ones yet. But I will say I really enjoyed Blood Will Out by Joe Triggieri. This book was, I guess, like it's close to horror. I wouldn't say it's full on horror. It's more of like a hard thriller, if that makes sense. But I did really like this book and I found that the pace kept really well and that I was pulled in from like start to finish. And when I got to the end, my mind was a little blown. Kind of like when I talk about I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh, it was a similar instance with this book. This was also my first book that I ever got to read for NetGalley. And then the author graciously sent me the paperback. But it was just really cool to have like that first experience with NetGalley with a book that I really enjoyed. And it actually like kind of creeped me out. So yeah, that was a plus. Then lastly, we have 9 Lives. And this is a series or an author that you really liked, then they were dead to you, and then you liked them again. So I wouldn't say they were dead to me, but I'm going to choose Adam Silvera for this one because I read Infinity Sun and I thought Infinity Sun was okay. It wasn't perfect, but it was okay because granted it was his first foray into fantasy. So I'll give him that because he's mainly a contemporary author. And you could definitely see the contemporary themes in that book. But then he wrote What If It's Us with Becky Albertalli, and that one I didn't really enjoy as much. So that's kind of where like the lull is. But then I just read They Both Die at the End, and this book completely revived that love. Like, this book was so good. I loved it. I flew through it, and at the end I had so many thoughts that I wanted to get out, and some thoughts like slash frustrations, but like good frustrations because I enjoyed the book so much. It was just, my heart. I don't know why like I let myself invest in these characters because obviously like it says on the front, they both die at the end. So I don't know why I did that to myself, but this book was really, really good. And that kind of like re-sparked my love for Adam Silvera. I still want to try his other books. I know there are some other ones out there that he's written that I have not got to yet, so I will probably try and pick those up if I can find them. And that's it for the Meowing Bout Books tag. Thank you, BookTube Goddess, for tagging me in this tag and making like this companion tag to my tag. I think that's really cool that you did that. I guess this is the part where I should tag somebody. So I'll tag Donna from Donna Sandoku, and I will also tag Hillary from Melted Books because I tag her and everything, so why not? I'll also tag Steph from Coffee Over Apples. So there, that's 3 tags. That's good enough. And if anybody else wants to do this tag, I strongly encourage it. I'll put all the information in the description down below so that you guys can check out those questions, which are awesome, by the way, and you guys can do it too. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Ko-fi page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as a link to get bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I post videos every Monday and Thursday. And until next time, keep on reading.